destination, ultimate destination a person can achieve in his life. That is Shuddha Bhakti, Kevala Bhakti. This Shuddha Bhakti is beyond material sense gratification, even enjoyment from this material world, and liberation also. Like our acharyas tell that the ananda in getting liberated is like spiritual suicide. There is no sense gratification there, there is no miseries there, but there is no love for Krishna also. But bhakti is beyond bhukti and mukti. It is beyond ecstasy of liberation. It is beyond happiness of material enjoyment. Like somebody has a child, a mother has a child, the child is crying. So mukti means what, kill the child. The child is killed, now there is no disturbance, that is mukti. But bhakti means raising the child. It looks, externally it looks so many problems, it's so difficult. Sadhana is difficult, dealing with anarthas is difficult. Why bhakti is so difficult? Like when I see, my sister, she has a young kid. It's difficult. Whole day the kid will play, and then, the daughter, she will sleep for some time on the odd time, and then whole night she'll be awake, and you have to carry the child. So it looks like punishment to have a child. But ask the mother, is it punishment or it is the greatest treasure of her life? Bhakti is like that. Externally seeing, it will look so difficult, so many challenges. But devotee relishes bhakti. Why he relishes bhakti? Because of the relation, because of the reciprocation. He feels that connection with Krishna. He owns that responsibility of serving Krishna. That makes the relation sweet. We all know when Krishna goes to Duryodhana's palace, Hastinapur. That time, Duryodhana offers Krishna that please come and have lunch at my place. Krishna tells there are two reasons for which person takes lunch at somebody's house or takes food. First is if he's too hungry. I am Atmaram. I don't need anybody's, help. And second condition is if there is loving relation. You hate my pure devotees, Pandavas. How can I love you? How can I eat at your place? And that time Krishna tells in Mahabharata, he tells how much I love Pandavas. He said, Pandavas can do anything for me. They can give up their life, and I can give up my life for Pandavas. This is loving relationship of Krishna and his devotees. One might doubt that is this relation possible for conditioned souls? We are also hankering for pure devotional service. We are hearing these stories of pure devotees, their reciprocation with Krishna, how much Krishna loves them, how much they love Krishna. Is it really our cup of tea? No, we don't drink tea. Is it really our cup of Charnamrit? Really, we deserve it? Huh? We don't deserve it. Then what is our hope? Krishna, actually Kapil Muni in third canto, he tells that what is Lord's nature? Lord's nature is Apichya darshanam shashyat sarva loka namaskritam. His form is so beautiful, his darshan is so beautiful. And sarva loka namaskritam, whole world bows down in front of the Lord. Anybody, you offer pranam to anybody, it will go to Narayana Vadigachati. It will go to Krishna. So whole world is bowing down in front of Krishna. Shantam Vayasi Keshora. His form is always youthful, so beautiful, so enchanting. He is all attractive Krishna. But in what job he is busy? Such a famous person, such a beautiful person, whom whole world wants, whom whole world hanker for his association. In what work he is busy? Bhritya Anurag Kataram. He is busy in giving love to his devotees. It's only one work, his only one job, to bless his devotees, to do intimate dealings with his devotees. That is his job. He is always very eager to give mercy to his devotees. What about us? I mean, there are so many pure devotees here, but I'm talking about myself. What about me? What about non-devotees? What about conditioned souls? Can one really achieve the favor of Supreme Personality of Godhead? Answer is no. Without the mercy of a pure devotee, we can't get the favor of Supreme Personality of God. Shuddha Bhakta Charana Renu Bhajana Anukul Bhakat Seva Parama Siddhi Prema Latikara. Prema Latikara Mool, the Shuddha Prema, Krishna Prema, love for Godhead, its root is service to the Vaishnavas. The lotus feet of spiritual master is the place where one gets Kevala Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti. What is the glory of this lotus feet? Shuddha Bhakta Charana Renu. What is the glory of this Renu, this dust from the lotus feet of the Lord? Krishna also purifies world by using this dust. Nirapekshana munim shantam, nirvairam samadarshana, pujeti angri renuvi. Krishna tells to Uddhav, angri renuvi. Angri means feet, renuvi means dust. I take dust of the feet of my devotees and purify the world. So Krishna has his own sanitizer. The sanitizer is dust of the lotus feet of Krishna. We all can meditate in our life. Who gave us Krishna? That was a devotee. We all can meditate. The mercy of devotee gave us Krishna. Whoever left that shelter of devotees, they were doomed. There's so many examples in Shastras. So many examples. Ravana was enjoying. He was you're disturbing the whole world. So many brahmanas, yagyas, everything you're destroying. When he rejected Vibhishan, he became abhaga. He became completely unfortunate. Duryodhan was enjoying full life. When he rejected Vidur, he lost everything. Hiranyakashipu was enjoying whole life. When he offended Prahlad, when he wanted to kill Prahlad, he was finished. So, a devotee's mercy carries us. Leaving shelter of devotee, one lost everything. So many examples, Shastra. Indra, in Bhagavatam we are reading, Indra, he offended Durvasa Muni, lost everything. He became completely penniless. Everything was favorable. It turned unfavorable when devotee got upset. But by mercy of Guru, by mercy of pure Vaishnava, even unfavorable circumstances become favorable. Jara prati Gurudev hai parasanna, kono vigna tar nahi hai avasanna. A pure devotee who is merciful on a person, he can never become disheartened. No challenge can stop that person if a pure devotee is merciful unto him. Like Prahlad, such unfavorable condition in the womb of mother, we can imagine who can get bhakti in the womb of mother, who can practice bhakti in such a condition. Many devotees, they are stuck, due to COVID situation, somebody is stuck at home, somebody is stuck in some place, there is no association, there's so many difficulties. But if we think about Prahlad, he was in the womb of mother. He got bhakti there. What was the reason? Touch of a pure devotee. Narad Muni's instructions. A touch of a pure devotee makes our devotional life dynamic. Otherwise, there is no life in this world. There's no life. People are just floating on the wave. Dead fish, how it floats in water. Dead fish. Water will go up, they will go up. Water will go down, they will go down. Oh, coronavirus, 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 everybody demotivated. Then again say, no, 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 vaccine has come, vaccine has come. Okay, enjoy, enjoy. Oh, okay, second wave, okay, again. It's dead fish. It's just floating with water. There is no life in this material world. There is no life. A pure devotee's touch makes life dynamic. Books and teachings are there since time immemorial. Since time immemorial, these books are there, scriptures are there, teachings are there. But without a touch of pure devotee, nothing works. Nothing works. How many people read Bhagavad Gita in this world? So many. Leaders of this world, they have read Bhagavad Gita. What they have concluded? Krishna was a historical person. Arjuna is soul. Krishna is super soul. Battle of Kurukshetra is fighting with our bad habits. This type of conclusions they have concluded. Without a touch of pure devotee, even spiritual scriptures don't penetrate in heart. Example is Vyasdev himself. Srila Vyasdev wrote these books. Himself he is not happy. When Narad Muni came, he gave him shelter, he gave him instruction. Then Srimad Bhagavatam came. Even in current scenario, we can see we are hearing so much online recording lecture, this, that. But till the time we don't have personal relation with a pure devotee, there will be no missionary spirit in life. There will be no life in one's bhakti. We can gather information. There is no doubt about it. We can we can fill notes after notes, softwares after softwares we can use. Nicely categorized, theme wise, topic wise, we can make so many notes. Information will be there, but there will be no transformation. Until we don't get that connection with pure devotee, bhakti can't go tivrena. Bhakti can't go with full force. We have to see what an example of pure devotee. Arjun was asking Krishna, Sthit pragasya ka bhasha. How a pure devotee walks, how a pure devotee talks, how he behaves. Krishna, I want to know that. When we live with pure devotee, that time we understand how he thinks, how he behaves, how he plans to serve Krishna, how he extends. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, just by living close to a pure devotee will enrich our devotional service. Living close doesn't mean just living physically. I am talking about establishing the connection. By reading, we establish connection. We don't assimilate the teachings at once. We establish connection with the with the author. Like we are reading Prabhupada books. So many Prabhupada disciples, they read Prabhupada books. After reading Prabhupada books, they established connection with Prabhupada. That connection forced them to surrender, and that made their life meaningful. It's not that just by reading Ishopanishad one became pure devotee and then he started to preach all over the world. It doesn't happen like that. We read, we hear to establish our relationship with pure Vaishnava. We can think like Prabhupada disciples, they didn't join ISKCON just for their own devotional service. Oh, now I got Krishna consciousness, I am happy, I am chanting my rounds, filling my sadhana card, I am happy. That is not ISKCON. It is selfish. I was discussing with some devotees that we are in a movement. Movement means what? It should have fire. It should have energy. एक आंदोलन में कैसी क्रांति होती है? It should have that revolutionary spirit. We are not there just to pamper our, own selves. It's so easy. Like take a room outside temple, take a room just in front of temple on rent, and put some money in fixed deposit. Every month we'll get interest. With that interest, have prasad every month and read Bhagavatam whole day. Is that ISKCON? That is not ISKCON. ISKCON means movement. It's a revolution. This is Hare Krishna movement. When Prabhupada disciples dedicated themselves to Prabhupada, they wanted to do something for Prabhupada. Like one boy, a 17 years old boy, he was running in Mayapur with a globe. वो पृथ्वी का ग्लोब लेके घूम रहा था मायापुर में. Everybody was telling what he wants to do. He went in Prabhupada's room. Prabhupada was sitting with his sannyasi disciples. He went, 17-year-old boy. He went with a globe. Prabhupada asked, you want to say something? He said, Prabhupada, I want to preach in a place where nobody went till now. 17-year-old boy. Prabhupada was laughing. Prabhupada said, yes, you revolve the globe. He revolved the globe. Prabhupada placed the finger. It went in Africa. Prabhupada said, okay, today I make you in charge of Africa preaching and Brahmananda Swami will be your assistant. The GVC and sannyasi disciple of Prabhupada, Brahmananda Swami, Prabhupada made him assistant of a 17-year-old boy. That is missionary spirit. See, what is service? What is service? Service is not activity. Service is simple expression of gratitude. When we are grateful for somebody, we want to do something for him. That is service. And when that gratitude explodes, when there is explosion of gratitude, that is missionary spirit. Then person becomes mad. He wants to achieve something. Like when Sri Srimad Bhaktichara Swami Guru Maharaj opened temple in Ujjain, he brought some devotees from Mayapur. Hardly anybody was knowing Hindi. Can you imagine 14, 15 brahmacharis? None of them know Hindi. After coming here, they learned Hindi, they preached in Hindi, build up this temple, build up preaching, and now we are all seeing ISKCON Ujjain. This is missionary spirit. This is movement. It's not that, oh, we are happy with our devotional service. No. I was talking to Sitanath Prabhu one day. He was telling me that, you all know Sitanath Prabhu. So he was telling me one day, the day he heard that Guru Maharaj is making temple in Madhya Pradesh, he stopped hearing Bengali class, he stopped reading Bengali books, he went to BBT, got a Hindi Bhagavad Gita, and he started to read Hindi from that. Why? Because I have to go to Madhya Pradesh, and wherever I go, I have to preach there. That is missionary spirit. Guru Maharaj himself, in his library, you will see, there is one book, Bengali to Hindi. How to learn Bengali to Hindi. His Hindi was out of the world, but just for setting an example. Jayapataka Maharaj himself, when Prabhupada told him, you stay in Mayapur, he learned Bengali. How he learned Bengali? He used to go to purchase vegetables. And from the vendors, he learned Bengali. How to speak in Bengali. And that's how he used to give Pandal programs in Bengali. Today we see Mayapur, thousands, lakhs of people come. It's not by chance. Yesterday, I think Bhakti Prem Maharaj is telling in lecture. He is telling that it is not by chance that so many thousands of people are coming to Mayapur. It is because devotees gave their blood and sweat in preaching. That is the reason people are coming to Mayapur. Otherwise, Mayapur is not a tourist place. I went to so many tourist places, Hampi, Udupi, Karnataka, so many places. There is no tourists there. Hardly anybody. Some foreigners come, they click some photos, and some Indians come, they do some, holiday stuff. But in Mayapur, lakhs of people are coming because devotees preached. That is missionary spirit. Whatever comfort we have got in our life, whatever skills we have got in our life, that is all for Krishna's service. That is for Guru's service. Few days back, I think a couple of weeks back, there was disappearance day of Jayananda Prabhu. We all heard his name, Prabhupada's dear disciple Jayananda Prabhu. Such a dedication. He was a taxi driver. And first donation he gave to Prabhupada was $10,000. Even today, $10,000 means 7 lakh rupees. 7.5 lakhs. Today also, right? 7.5 lakhs. Today's rate also. But even in that day, what was the conversion rate? $10,000 a taxi driver gives, whole life savings. Today, the Bhagavad Gita we read, first printing was done by that donation. That is service to Srila Prabhupada. That is dedication. It is a feeling of love. It is the feeling of connection with the spiritual master. He gave us Krishna. He showed us what real love is. Whole world is exploiting. Whole world wants to take benefit out of us. He is one person, spiritual master is one person who is selflessly want to give us our life back. He wants to free us from the clutches of Maya. How much we owe to him. Therefore, a disciple's life is offered at the lotus feet of the spiritual master. The more is given, the more is expected. It is not that Guru is giving, and we are just receiving. Gorgopal Prabhu saying, like, Guru is Dena Bank, we are Lena Bank. So we are just keep on taking. It is not bhakti. Bhakti means the more is given, the more is expected. Guru has given us time. Guru has given us energy. Guru has given us his mercy, holy name, his lectures. Now it is expected that we follow. Now it is expected that we distribute it to others. Like Krishna gave the most confidential knowledge of Uddhav Gita to Uddhav before departure. Such a precious investment. Just before departure, he gave exclusive time to Uddhav. Why? Because he expected Uddhav will do something. Uddhav said, I want to come with you. Krishna says, for this reason, I have given you knowledge. For this reason, I have spent my time to speak to you all this. I think Uddhav Gita has 29 chapters. The 29 chapters iske liye सुनाए कि तुम मेरे साथ जाओगे. That is not the reason. You stay back. I want you to propagate this knowledge. Uddhav stayed. He went to Vrindavan. And when queens of Dwarka came to Vrindavan, they were so much afflicted with pain of separation from Krishna. Uddhav recited these teachings of Bhagavatam to them. That's how we hear Uddhav Gita. That's how we know what are the Krishna's final instructions. So it's not all about our own spiritual sense gratification. We have to shoulder the burden of spiritual master. We have to help the mission. Disciples should tell the master, don't worry, I am there. This is disciple. Otherwise, we are just burden. Maharaj said, Guru Bhogi, Guru Tyagi. That is not what we are looking for in life. When Ramchandra told Hanuman, I want to search Sita, so many teams went on all directions. Why Ramchandra gave that precious Chudamani, the ring to Hanuman? Why? So many teams went, Ramchandra could have given one sample to all. Why he only gave to Hanuman? Because only Hanuman went to Ramchandra and told, my dear Lord, please don't worry. I will do my best to search Sita. This is disciple. We have to assure Gurudev, we have to assure spiritual master that we will continue his teachings. We are there to serve. Disciple has to have that relation with his spiritual master. Even in material world, when father gets old, how a responsible son takes care of father. How a responsible son takes the responsibility and duties. Spiritual master is not dependent on disciple. But for our own purification, we have to take responsibility. His lotus feet, his satisfaction is the real wealth. There is no greater wealth in this world. One time, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was in Mayapur and it was a rainy season. So it was all muddy, all over the ground. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was departing from Mayapur. The disciples offered their obeisances in the wet mud. We don't do that. Sometimes it happens, if spiritual master comes, we see kaun si jagah saaf hai, wahan dandavad dete hain thoda. But wet mud, it's all dirty, muddy, rainy season. The disciples offered their full dandavat to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was telling, no, why? Don't do that. Your clothes will get dirty. The disciples told Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Guru Maharaj, this is the only treasure in our life that we can offer ourselves in your lotus feet. This is the only treasure in our life. We don't have anything else greater than this in our life. This is a disciple's mood. A disciple goes to spiritual master and tells that we are there to share your burden. This is a responsible disciple. Even though we are useless, it's not that it's matter of pride. It's not pride. It's about responsibility. It's not pride. A disciple, when goes to spiritual master and tells, I want to do something for you, Guru becomes happy. Like I remember last year, not last year, 2019 Vyas Puja time, our temple management EC when Prema Bhakti Prabhu Bhajan Kishore Dirvaku, they told Guru Maharaj, we will not burden you financially. Guru Maharaj was happy with that news. It is not that, oh yes, like you are become so proud, now you will do yourself. No, Guru becomes happy that my children are taking responsibility. One time temple was going through so much financial crisis. And Guru Maharaj, one disciple, Mirabai Mataji, you all know her, from Mumbai. She just called Guru Maharaj and told that I will send every month this many lakhs of rupees. The Guru Maharaj said, no, you don't need to send. She told such nice statement. She said, Guru Maharaj, you are our spiritual father. It is our responsibility to help you. It is not pride. We have to understand. There's difference between pride and responsibility. We have to tell our Guru, we have to tell our spiritual master, I am there. I want to serve you. That is connection between spiritual master and disciple. He is not a disciple who just come on Vyas Puja, fights for prasad, fights for garlands, fights for Charnamrit, and then disappears till next Vyas Puja. That is not disciple. Disciple means he can do anything for Guru. We had one brahmachari in our temple, I'll not tell the name, but he was such dedicated disciple. One time Guru Maharaj was in some financial need. He came to know about it and he disappeared from temple. Everybody was searching where he went. You don't know. I mean, many of you may be aware or not, I'm not sure. If a brahmachari is not visible for 2 hours also, then in temple it's a big news. Where he went. And this devotee, he was not there in temple for many days. And everybody was worried where he went. And there was no news about him. So there was some notice also that, oh, this brahmachari is not there now, and maybe he left, and maybe he did something wrong, and there are so many rumors also. He comes back after a few weeks with a lot of money, and he gives to Guru Maharaj. What will first doubt come? He did something. How he brought this much money? Guru Maharaj asked him. He said, Guru Maharaj, I heard you had financial need. I went to my home. My brothers were fighting for my father's property. I told them I also have share. I fought in court. I got the property. I sold it. I brought this money. You are my real father. Please use in Prabhupada's service. This is disciple. It's not always about taking. It's about reciprocating. How we want to do something for a spiritual master. We don't have to just become a skillful person. We don't have to become an asset. हमको कोई बहुत बड़ा superman नहीं बनना है. We have to just become an instrument in hand of spiritual master. What instrument does? Instrument only remains in the hands of the master. How master want to use, he will use. Many times it happens when we grow in our responsibilities, when we grow in our external things like name, fame, preaching, their followers, their influence, we tend to become independent. That is not an asset for a spiritual master. That is a burden for a spiritual master. Asset means dependent. Asset means, what asset? Like my phone is my asset. It is under my control. So becoming an asset for a spiritual master means doing what he wants, not what we need. Like we have a wonderful example of His Grace Brijendra Krishna Guru. We all know in temple he doesn't like management. He is temple president externally, but internally he is a pujari, he is a Bhagavatam reader, he is a nice chanter, nice sadhaka. He doesn't like management. But for the spiritual master, one time I was speaking to him on phone and he told me that, this and this situation is there. I was also not very in good mood. I told him that we should complain. So he suggested that, would you like to complain? I said, no, why I will take the blame? Why I should take the blame? So he said me very nice thing. He said, I will take the blame because Guru Maharaj gave me the service of this temple. It is my responsibility. This is love for spiritual master. It is not just we want to just raise our flag. Another star world devotee in our temple, Dhirugurku. Once, when he was not in temple, he was a student. One senior devotee asked him, are you proud that you are Guru Maharaj's disciple? He said, I am grateful. It's different. It's difference of words, it's difference of consciousness. Guru Maharaj gave so many services to him, miscellaneous service. He was always ready. Can you imagine? He joined in 2016. After completing his new devotee training program, he became general manager. Next year, he became temple president. When we speak about it, it looks very lucrative. Oh, wow, such a promotion. But one doesn't know how much he has to digest. How much you have to digest when you are in management. It is like, the bed of arrows. Like Bhishma Pitama is sleeping in bed of arrows. It's so difficult. One has to have the digestive power. Your illusion breaks, your wonder world breaks. We come with a wonder world. Oh, bhakti, temple, everybody pure devotee, everything is so nice. I will go and I'll fly. Things like that. But it doesn't happen like that. The illusion breaks. Especially management means thankless job. It's a necessary evil. One time he took vow, Dhirugurku took vow that I am dealing with management. I will not criticize anybody. Can you imagine that person who is hearing so many complaints, so many issues every day? He is not speaking about it to anybody else. It had so adverse effect on his body. His heat in his body increased. In his whole body, there were red marks and rashes. And still, he was not ready to speak about it. Why? Because Guru Maharaj wanted this temple should not have politics. This temple should not have backbiting. This temple should have pure Vaishnava culture. This is love. This is love for spiritual master. It's not all about externals. Oh, how much I cry for Guru, how much nice poem I can write for Guru, how much nice garland I can make Guru. That is also okay. But service determines how much we love. Another wonderful example, Abhay Charandu. Guru Maharaj tells so many innovative ideas. One time, one devotee sent one photo to Guru Maharaj from some corner of the world that there is something called chrome technology and you can, gold paint anything with that. Like whole hotel rooms, washrooms, everything people made out of gold paint using chrome technology. And imagine, Guru Maharaj just called and told Abhay Charan, find out what is this technology. Can you imagine? Out of the world, out of the box. Guru Maharaj doesn't have a box. We say thinking out of the box. Guru Maharaj doesn't have any box. He always think out of the box. So he will tell so many innovative things. Abhay Charan Prabhu found out, he got the machine. Today we are doing chrome plating in our workshop. Everything, whatever Guru Maharaj told, he is doing. And to match Guru Maharaj's deadline, it is so difficult. And it's not that he is enjoying. From heart, he is preacher. Those who have met him, is such a wonderful Vaishnava, flower like Vaishnava, so nice sadhana. He wants to preach, he wants to be with devotees, but he's sitting in that workshop since so many months. We all are in temple in lockdown. He's sitting in that workshop. He is not coming out of that workshop because in lockdown you can't come in temple. It is lockdown. He is sitting in that workshop doing business of wood for what? Because he likes business. He knows only one thing. It will please Guru Maharaj. That is disciple. That is instrument. That means dedication. Another wonderful example, Radhapat Prabhu. You all know Radhapat Prabhu. He gives classes also. I was in touch with him from long time, but I was not knowing him so personally. After Guru Maharaj departed, he came to Ujjain and he just came for one day. So I went to meet him at 9 o'clock in night. And till what time he spoke to me? Till Mangalarti. So 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. Continuous, he was sharing his experience. What he was sharing, how he is grateful to Guru Maharaj. He had tears in his eyes. Whoever Radhapat Prabhu is such a tough and rough personality. But seeing tears in his eyes is not joke. He was sharing his heart. He was telling how much he is grateful to Guru Maharaj, how much Guru Maharaj gave him, his mercy, his time. And he was telling that he did not ask any help from Guru Maharaj. Like Guru Maharaj sent him to Panihati, even in map you can't find Panihati. After ISKCON temple came to Panihati, people came to know about Panihati. In map also, Calcutta people don't know where is Panihati. But Guru Maharaj sent him Panihati. And what kind of struggle? From day one, he told Guru Maharaj, I will not take any financial help. Guru Maharaj paid for the land, Guru Maharaj was paying for the legal matters. But for day-to-day expenses, for devotees prasad, for deity worship, for all this, he said, I will not take any help. And he was depending on Gaur-Neta. It's not easy. You don't know how your lunch will come. Is it so easy thing? I'm not talking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. I'm talking about now. Radhapat Prabhu and his devotees are sitting. They don't know how lunch will come. Suddenly one group comes. They come and they tell, can you show us where Raga Pandit's house? They take them to Raga Pandit's house, cook some prasad for them. They give some donation. How Krishna is arranging? That is dependence. There were so many legal matters. There was one land which were disputed. And there were so many people who were ready to kill for that land. They will kill you for that land. There's so many stakeholders. And Radhapat Prabhu asked all the devotees, see, this land Guru Maharaj purchased. We have to secure this land. And in night, these people can come anytime and they can capture the land. See, once they come and they build something and they sit there, we can't remove them. So every night, one of us have to sleep there. You know how many devotees volunteer to sleep outside? 0. He said, who will sleep? In night, they will come, they will kill us. No, they will throw our body in Ganga. Nobody will find us also. Can you imagine Radhapat Prabhu? He's son of rich parents. His whole family is like famous doctors. He is educated from NIT Bhopal. A boy from Bhopal city. He was sleeping in that disputed land on one khatiya in night. Not caring for his life also. For whom? For himself? What commission he will get? This is love for a spiritual master. Guru Maharaj purchased one boat few years back. It was a costly boat. And that boat Guru Maharaj kept in Panihati. One time that boat only was in water. Somehow the rope got untied and the boat was just floating in water. Can you imagine? 25 lakh rupees boat is floating in water. Radhapat Prabhu just jumped in water. He just jumped. In Ganga, the flow of Ganga in Panihati, you must have seen those who have visited there. It's so, it's deep, it's scary. He jumped in that water to bring that boat back. But for what? Not for 25 lakh rupees. For Guru Maharaj. This is Guru Maharaj's property. He has entrusted me to keep it safely. It is my responsibility. That is disciple. The disciple's work is to please a spiritual master. Another wonderful example who we all admire and we worship in our lives, His Holiness Bhakti Prem Swami Maharaj. His whole life is dedicated to Guru Maharaj. Can you imagine? You started preaching in IIT Kharagpur. Just imagine you have started preaching in IIT Kharagpur and you got boys like Antardeep Prabhu, Revtipati Prabhu, they are chanting. Maharaj was preaching to them. Revtipati Prabhu, Antardeep Prabhu, today we hear. They were chanting 4 rounds, 8 rounds when Maharaj was preaching in IIT Kharagpur. And Maharaj invited Radheshyam Prabhu and Maharaj used to take Radheshyam Prabhu to IIT Kharagpur. When things are getting so successful, Guru Maharaj starts project in Ujjain. Guru Maharaj said, Ganganaran, leave everything, come to Ujjain. Is it so easy? We become so attached to our preaching. Today, somebody tells, Prabhu, you are preaching in some city, leave it, because in authority doesn't want. Is it so easy to leave? Maharaj left, came to Ujjain. So many hard struggles, so many hardships he tolerated. Enriched this project, nourished this project, nourished devotees. When temple was established, he took sannyas. He was preaching, his preaching was expanding. People are inviting him from all over the world. Maharaj had booking for so many months in advance. Come here, come there. Everybody wanted him. And the peak of his preaching, Guru Maharaj tells Maharaj, leave everything, come to D-Land. Is it so easy? Without any second, Maharaj went without any another discussion. Maharaj just applied for visa. 2 times his visa got rejected. Third time he applied, it got approved. He went to America. And what he did after going to America? Not lecturing. No lecture. After going to America, Guru Maharaj told him, Maharaj, you take care of the farm. Maharaj used to do horticulture, used to grow potatoes, water the plants. And then at one time there was no manpower. Maharaj used to wear pant shirt and used to drive 70 miles per day to deliver food packets to students in universities. And Maharaj in his whole life never drove even one bicycle. No, sorry, not bicycle, a motorcycle. He doesn't know how to ride motorcycle, car, nothing. After going to America in age of 50, he learned how to drive, and he was driving on the highways of America just to please Guru Maharaj. Not 1-2 miles. Like we learn driving in Ujjain, we go to Nanakheda bus stand, here, there. No, 70 miles per day. Maharaj used to drive. For whom? For Guru Maharaj's pleasure. And then at one time there was even less manpower. After Mangalarti, used to go to kitchen and roll 150 chapatis every day. Every day 150 chapatis he used to roll, he used to cook, and he used to pack in packets. Bhakti Prem Maharaj. And it's not that, he had no job. He left everything for rolling chapatis. Rolling chapatis is not important. Guru Maharaj's pleasure is important. Let us think about Guru Maharaj. What made him so special? What made him so special? His dedication to Srila Prabhupada. How much he loved Prabhupada. One time I was hearing from Guru Maharaj. He was mentioning, I think this is not an ocean of mercy. One time, Guru Maharaj was in Rishikesh with Prabhupada, and there was no electricity. Is it there in Ocean of Mercy? Is there? Okay. There was no electricity. And Prabhupada wanted to translate. So Guru Maharaj personally went in dark night. People were telling him, don't go there. There are snakes on this way. It's completely dark. We don't know you will get something or not. Guru Maharaj went that pitch darkness in the way which has snakes, everything. Went there, brought kerosene oil, and he set the lamp for Prabhupada so that Prabhupada can read and translate. Prabhupada never asked, is there? It's not there, no? It's not there in Ocean of Mercy. Guru Maharaj himself told, he went in, it was dark night. The walk, the pathway, people said there are so many snakes there, and Rishikesh those days was very remote. People said, don't go in night, you can go in morning. Guru Maharaj said, no, Prabhupada's time is important. Prabhupada translate in night. I can't waste Prabhupada's time. He walked through that night. He went there, brought kerosene oil, set lamp for Prabhupada. Prabhupada was so pleased. This is disciple. He can do anything for Guru. Even difficult task, he can make it possible. Guru Maharaj wanted to go in Samadhi with Prabhupada. We adore it, we glorify it. But more difficult task than that is, he stayed, he tolerated separation from Prabhupada, he cooperated with everybody, and he united ISKCON. That is more difficult task. That is most difficult task. Guru Maharaj carried Prabhupada's missionary spirit. He would go to parliaments, he would go to cities, he would go to mass preaching, he would do class preaching, he would go to villages, he would go to Bangladesh, he would go to Bengal villages. He used to drive for hours together. For what? Guru Maharaj is making devotees. He can just sit in Mayapur, he can just sit in Ujjain, and people will come from all over the world. But he was ready. He was ready to go everywhere to preach. This is dedication to Prabhupada's movement. So we don't have to always think that what we got. If we count what we got, we will be drowning in the gifts what a spiritual master gave us. Now it is our turn to reciprocate. One time, it is very, very active in my mind and memory. And although I can't follow it, but I'll share with you. One time we were going to Mayapur and we were driving from Calcutta. And when we drive, when we go by boat, you come to this ghat and you come from Prabhupada Ghat side and BBT and then you enter in ISKCON Mayapur. But when you drive, you come from Rajapur side. So we were coming from Rajapur side and we come through all these sacred places like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Samadhi, Chaitanya Gaudiya Math and all these places. And I remember when the car was in front of Yogpit, we were just driving to Mayapur campus. The car was in front of Yogpit. Guru Maharaj made a very beautiful statement. He said, I can't understand how a disciple can be passive. You can note this statement. I can't understand how a disciple can be passive. That means a disciple can't be passive. It is unimaginable. Like sugar has to be sweet. In the same way, disciple has to be active. He has to work for Guru. Guru Maharaj is saying, I can't imagine how a disciple can be passive. After receiving so much from a spiritual master, after understanding so much how our spiritual master is sacrificing for us, what is the glory of our parampara, how can we remain passive? So that statement I often remember, although I'm not able to follow, but we can pray in the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual masters. We can pray every day that we don't have that capacity. We may not have that love, but please empower us with that service. Please accept us in your eternal service. This type of prayer disciples should do. When Prabhupada was asked that what is Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada said desire. The devotees asked, what if Prabhupada we don't have desire? Prabhupada said desire for that desire. So we know what is best thing. We know what is a disciple's responsibility. We are useless, but we wish to offer ourselves in the service of Guru. So we should every day pray in the lotus feet of Guru that they can use us as instrument in their hands. And that will make our life successful. Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Guru Premanande. Any question or comment? Brajendra Krishna Prabhu want to add something?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, such a wonderful class you gave. आप तो चौके छक्के से नीचे बात ही नहीं कर रहे थे. But I joined little late. I was busy somewhere, and my video was also off so that you are comfortable to speak in. But really, you made not only my day, but the day of many people attending this session. And since you yourself are a very good follower, that's why with strong conviction you are able to speak all these facts. So it was really a very fantastic and inspiring class, I'll say. And not just the class to be heard, but more the class to be implemented. To the degree we will implement it, to that degree we will be successful in my spiritual life. Yeah. So thank you once again for your ever inspiring class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I was just quoting your example and learning something. Sundar Damodar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much Prabhuji for this very inspiring class. We don't have words to express our gratitude to you. Actually, we cannot. I cannot meet Guru Maharaj for much. I hear from him, but to clear our duty as a disciple, like all of you are present as representative to guide us how we should move forward. So thank you very much, Prabhuji, for that. And one point I like very much, Prabhuji, in the last you said that also cleared my question, like desire for that desire. So presently I don't have that desire. So, but your very statement that desire for that desire clear that answer for me, that I should at least desire for that desire and try to associate with devotees who have such nice mood with Guru Maharaj. So I seek your blessings, Puji, so that I can also become a good disciple. Thank you very much,
I'm
Puji.
already doing best. Harsh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank
Hare
you, Prabhuji, for taking this session. Uh, Many things I learned from this. I just had one question, Prabhuji. Like if we are involved in some project or we are doing something for pleasing our authorities or spiritual master, but somehow we fail in that. Means uh, somehow we tried our best, but we failed. So then it feels that, oh, I could not serve better, or I could have done much more better than this. So in that situation, what we should do, or what should be our consciousness?
That feeling should always be there. Actually, if we start feeling that we are doing very nice, that is a problem. So that feeling should always be there, that I am not able to serve properly, I am not able to please spiritual master properly. That is a good sign. In that way, actually, we can grow, we can learn, we can depend on their mercy. Like in book distribution, it happens. When one time I remember I was going in Indore for book distribution, and not a single book was going. That time, I started pray to Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Rupa Goswami, everybody. Actually, in my whole life, I never prayed till that time. But when there is apparent failure, we depend more on Guru and Krishna. So that is good. But we should not become disheartened. We should not become demoralized. Even if we are not able to serve, we should pick up again and we should try to serve spiritual master with more energy. We should pray to him that please give us ekaki amar nahi paye bal harinam sankirtan. I can't do it on my own. Please empower me. That type of prayers, spiritual master will listen and he will empower us to serve him better.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. If I have spoken anything uh, which is too strong or which is uh, not very palatable, please forgive me and bless me that I can also develop these qualities and become a humble servant of Vishnuvas. Himanshu Prabhu, you have any question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful class and for such a nice blessings for all of us. It's just like a, power boosting charger for all of us. And Prabhuji, it's a grateful feeling for you that you have so much uh, responsibilities, many responsibilities, time consume, you have very less time also, but you mercifully accept our uh, our request to give classes. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Akshay Brahma Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for the beautiful session.
Hare
Prabhuji, I had a small question.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, when we listen to you, and when we listen to your realizations, the thought that comes to our mind or is that you have had very good association of Guru Maharaj personally for around 4 years. But most of us who are here on the platform, we haven't had such kind of association with Guru Maharaj. I think most of us here. So then now the question comes that because you were with a pure devotee for such a long time, so and we were not so fortunate enough to have Guru Maharaj's association personally. So the question is, what can we do now? For example, our authority at the wherever we all are staying, should we try to follow them and fully surrender to them? Although we know, I mean, I may be wrong, but we know that everybody has anarthas. Maybe our, uh, if my question is wrong, please correct me. Guru Maharaj is a pure devotee, but not necessary that our authority or a counselor is a pure devotee. We know they have anarthas when we have anarthas. So should we, how can we develop that feeling? First question is, should we surrender to them completely? And if we want to, then how can we get that feeling? Because are you able to understand the difference
I
here?
got your point. I got your point. Actually, if I look at my own devotional life, I would say more than being with Guru Maharaj, I got benefited by being with Guru Maharaj's true servants. Because when you see Guru Maharaj with their vision, then you get benefit. Otherwise, what vision we have to see a pure devotee? Like I remember when first time I saw Sitanath Prabhu serving Guru Maharaj. Sitanath Prabhu is there on this call. Brijan Kishore told me. First time when I saw him serving, it was in December. It was retreat, and I was a student that time. So first time I saw him how he serves Guru Maharaj. He took out his sweater, he took out his socks, he took out his topa, everything, and he went in bare dhoti kurta in Guru Maharaj's room. So I was wearing all jacket, and like in our temple there is marble, so we always wear socks and everything. So later on I asked somebody else, not Prabhuji directly, but somebody else, कि ये Prabhuji सब socks उतार के स्वेटर उतार के क्यों जाते हैं अंदर, इतनी ठंड नहीं लगती है प्रभु जी? तो वो बोले सीतानाथ प्रभु का मूड इस तरह है कि गुरु महाराज इज लाइक कृष्णा, साक्षात हरित है। क्या हम ऑल्टर में सॉक्स पहन के जाते हैं? क्या हम ऑल्टर में अपना पुराना जैकेट पहन के जाते हैं? तो उस तरह गुरु महाराज को जब हम प्रसाद सर्विस कर रहे हैं तो उस रिस्पेक्ट के साथ करना चाहिए। तो जब हम इस तरह शुद्ध भक्तों के साथ में गुरु को देखते हैं तब हमको बेनिफिट मिलता है। हमारे साथ में रहने से क्या हम अनर्थ ही देखेंगे? If we will live with Guru, we will see anarthas only. Like हम जब भक्ति प्रेम महाराज को देखते हैं, उनका जो गुरु महाराज के प्रति समर्पण है, जिस तरह वो गुरु महाराज को जब गुरु महाराज से क्वेश्चन भी पूछते हैं, उनके आज तक मुंह से ना नहीं निकला। गुरु महाराज बोलेंगे अभी सुबह अभी दिन हो रहा है ना, वो हाँ ही बोलेंगे। रात में 9:30 बजे दिन हो रहा है, वो हाँ बोलेंगे विदाउट थिंकिंग। ये डायरेक्ट जो बोलते हैं ना स्टिमुलस रिएक्शन, वो इनका स्टिमुलस रिएक्शन फिट है गुरु महाराज के यस बोलना। तो जब हम इस तरह शुद्ध जो गुरु के प्रिय सेवक लोग हैं, when the true servants of spiritual master, when we see spiritual master from their vision, then we get benefit. Direct association so many people get, but they offend and they destroy their devotional life. So it is a blessing to have Guru's representatives. So wherever we are, whichever city we are, we have our Guru's representative, no matter who is our spiritual master. There are so many senior devotees in ISKCON who are guiding us. So we should learn to surrender. If we can't surrender to Guru's representative, that means we are not surrendering to Guru also. If you love me, love my dog, Prabhupada used to say. So in the same way, Guru's representatives are there. Externally, we may see they are not perfect. But who is perfect in this world? हम उस तरह अनर्थ देखने के लिए जाएंगे, even in spiritual master will find faults. Can't spiritual master write wrong spelling? Can't spiritual master tell wrong grammar? Can't spiritual master do wrong management? It is possible. But if we will go with that calculation, we will ruin our spiritual life. So we should learn to see Guru and Krishna through their true servants. Like Arunakshi Prabhu is there in our temple. By being with him, we understand what is the greatness of deities. So many devotees go in altar. They don't have same realization. Like when I went to altar, Radha Madan Mohan's Chota Vigraha is there, Archa Vigraha. It's a Vashtadhatu. Sometimes it gets this all oxidization. So I was telling कि इस तरह जो मेटल होते हैं उनको तो आप नींबू लगाओ, नमक और नींबू लगाओ और साफ हो जाते हैं। तो मैंने बोला आज अपन एक काम करते हैं, नींबू का घोल लेके जाते हैं, नमक के साथ साफ कर देते हैं। तो मुझे अरुणाक्ष ने बोला कि आपको कोई इस तरह नींबू और नमक लगाएगा आपको कैसा लगेगा? These are deities of Krishna himself. We don't do these. He told that vision. We don't see that with our vision. So he told, we put nice badam oil to Krishna, and then we take a cotton and take some tilak powder, and we gently rub on Krishna's face and arms and legs, and we clean like that. So because Krishna himself. So by being with such dedicated servants of Guru and Krishna, we get vision to see them. So it is not obstruction. It is actually, like Guru Maharaj tells, it is actually the series of lens. Like a telescope has series of lens, you can see farthest object using the telescope. In the same way, dedicated servants of Guru and Krishna helps us to see them spiritually. So it's a blessing, and for sure, we should dedicate ourselves to them. Even if they are wrong, we are not getting the blame. We will not get reaction. To become follower is the safest thing. So we should do that. Okay, Aksharam Prabhu?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I just remember one point you gave in one of your lectures, which I liked very much. You gave the example of a boy whose father is a government officer, and one of his friends comes to him and says that, you know, your father he takes bribe. So that example you said that irrespective of whatever is the situation of our heads, they have holded our arms, and they are taken the responsibility to take us back to Godhead. So we have to follow them any which ways. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Naveen Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I heard you for the first time. Am I audible?
Yes.
Prabhuji, President Krishna Prabhu told you, sent your picture someday before. And Hindu glorification, he cited like the next Guru. So I also heard from Anand Chetan Prabhu. He gives very good lectures. So today was my first day. I felt like that. It was very truly. You are a master to touch the mood and feel, and you just make us feel that Krishna consciousness. That was a very nice thing to hear you for the first time. I don't have any question, but just to talk with you, I raise my hand. So it was very nice to hear you for the first time. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Actually, beauty lies in the eye of beholder. So Brajendra Krishna Prabhu has that kind of vision. He sees everybody like that. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we can conclude now. Thank you very much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Pranam, Prabhu.
His grace Krishna Kishore Prabhu ki Jagat Guru Shri
Jai.
Jai.
Jai.